All right, today we're diving into something pretty fascinating at the intersection of AI and high-stakes finance. There's a new model out there called Kronos, and it's been designed to do something that sounds like science fiction, to speak and truly understand the very unique language of the financial markets. And that really gets to the core of it, right? Can you actually teach an AI to speak the language of the stock market? I don't just mean crunching numbers. I mean understanding the deep, often chaotic patterns that move trillions of dollars around the globe every single day. Let's find out. See, the market doesn't talk in English. Its language is visual, it's dense, and it looks like this. These are called K-line, or candlestick charts, and every single one of those little red and green bars is packed with a ton of information. The open, the close, the high, the low, the volume. It's a language that captures price, emotion, and momentum all in one little snapshot. So here's our game plan. First, we'll unpack AI's financial blind spot. Then we'll introduce Kronos itself. We're going to get into how it learns this weird market language, see how it performs against the competition, and then we'll look at the big picture, what this all means for the future of finance. Okay, so let's start with the fundamental problem. Why is it that even our most powerful general-purpose AIs often just fall flat when they're pointed at the financial markets? Well, this right here is the heart of the issue. It's a massive data imbalance. Think about the biggest, baddest AI models for analyzing time-based data. We call them time series foundation models. They are trained on incredible amounts of information. But if you actually look at what they're learning from, financial data is, well, it's a rounding error. It's often less than 1% of the entire training set. And that imbalance has a huge knock-on effect. It means these super powerful models are generalists. They don't have the specialized vocabulary to understand the unique weirdness of finance. I mean, the signal-to-noise ratio is incredibly low. It's like trying to hear a whisper in a hurricane. So what happens? They often get outperformed by older, simpler models that were actually built just for finance. And this is where things get really interesting. Enter our protagonist, Kronos, a foundation model built from the ground up to fix this exact problem. So, unlike those other AIs, Kronos was raised on a pure 100% diet of financial data. And not just a little bit. We are talking about over 12 times billion candlestick records from 45 different global exchanges. It didn't just learn about finance, it learned to be a native speaker of the market's language. So how on earth do you teach an AI a language that's made of charts? This is where the really clever part of the Kronos design comes in. The researchers use this brilliant two-step process. First, they basically built a special translator, a tokenizer that takes each candlestick from the chart and turns it into a unique digital word, or token. Then they use a powerful model, kind of like the engine behind ChatGPT, to read these new sentences of market data and just learn to predict the next word. And this diagram just shows that whole process beautifully. On the left, you've got the K-line charts flowing in, getting turned into those discrete tokens. Then on the right, you have the AI model itself, just absorbing those sequences, learning the rhythm and the patterns by constantly asking itself, okay, what's next? But here's the secret sauce. The tokens themselves aren't just simple little words. They're hierarchical. Each token has two parts. You've got the coarse part, that's like the headline, the big picture trend, and then you have the fine part. That's all the nitty-gritty detail, the fine print. And this is genius because it allows the model to see both the forest and the trees at the exact same time. All right, so the theory sounds amazing, but the billion-dollar question is, does it actually work? Well, the researchers put it to the test. And wow, this chart pretty much says it all. You've got Kronos, the blue bars, going head-to-head with a whole lineup of other leading AI models on the task of forecasting prices. And it's not even a contest. Kronos just consistently and significantly blows the competition out of the water. And to put a number on that dominance, get this. When they used a key industry metric for accuracy, it's called RankIC, Kronos showed a staggering 93% improvement over the best general-purpose AI it went up against. 93%. That is not an incremental step. That's a giant leap. Now, beyond just predicting, they tested if it could create new, realistic market data. And check this out. On the left, the blue dots are fake data made by Kronos. Look how seamlessly they mix with the real data in red. Now, look at the right. A competing model tries, and, well, it's just a separate blob. This shows Kronos can create incredibly realistic market sandboxes to test strategies in safely. So, what does this mean for actual investing? Well, when they ran a simulation, Kronos came out on top with the highest annualized excess return and the best information ratio. Okay, that's some finance jargon, but what it means in plain English is that it didn't just point to higher profits, it pointed to smarter, more consistent, risk-adjusted returns than any other model they tested. So let's zoom out for a second and just think about the big picture here. What does a breakthrough like this actually mean? What happens when an AI becomes truly fluent in the language of finance? Well, it could unlock some incredible things. We're talking about the potential for much more accurate forecasting. That's the holy grail. It could lead to safer risk management because you can simulate market crashes with terrifying realism. And for all the quants and data scientists out there, this is a whole new, powerful foundation to build entirely new kinds of strategies on top of. This really is a potential game changer. So we end up back where we started. For decades, we humans have been trying to interpret the noisy, chaotic language of the markets. And now, it looks like we may finally have an AI that can not only listen in, but speak it fluently. And that leaves us with one final, fascinating question. Now that AI can speak the language of finance, what is it going to say next?